too soon, right?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. So obviously, Deontay has looked great on these ring walks recently. You could totally see the Game of Thrones. You could see the excellence, the work that went into it. And he fought Tyson Fury last Saturday. He ends up losing, and then he came out with some excuses, and he said part of the reason he didn't perform well is because his suit weighed him down early in the fight and his legs were gone. So I'm just curious, when you guys first heard that excuse from Deontay Wilder, what was going through your head?
It was kind of a shock, honestly, and it was kind of very like it was like heart wrenching. Like, oh my god,
It didn't sound like Deontay to me.
it didn't
I was
sound like
that's
Deontay.
that doesn't sound like
Because I know that Deontay would never throw us under the bus because I know he absolutely loved the outfit and the fitting, and it didn't sound like it really came from Deontay. So we didn't believe it, but we were on pins and needles all day because we were trying to call Deontay, but actually he was busy recovering. So
Well, he's also
that night before we went to bed, we got FaceTime, and it was Deontay, and it was like, guys, things get twisted in the media. I love you guys so much. You guys are family, and we love Deontay. We got to know him and his wife and his kids, and we got really close like family. So it was so reassuring to hear him, FaceTime like you and I right now, saying, I love you guys and just get ready for the other fight. I'm taking you guys to the top with me and get ready for the next fight with Fury.
But he did acknowledge the weight of the costume. He did acknowledge that, and we actually listened to him in that, and we're like, listen, going forward, we know that we need to make adjustments in that because, he had to wear that costume for a lot longer than anticipated during that ring walk. Normally, it's a 5-minute ring walk. For that, it's not a problem, but because of the way the timing went in the back.
But he was in it a while before.
Right.
So I could see the weight, you know what I mean? Maybe, maybe contributing to it. I understand, but he clarified everything with us. And next time we're going to make the outfit in Scott tissue.
Well, that's probably a smart plan. So when he says 40 to 45 pounds, do you think that's accurate? And why does it weigh that much? He mentioned batteries because obviously it had the lights in the eyes. Is that how much it weighed, and why does it weigh that much?
That's something that's really interesting. So
we didn't actually weigh it though. I wish he was here with us right now because I would just like drop it on a scale right now.
Yeah.
But we didn't actually weigh it. So basically, it's the same components as the other outfits. Basically, all made in leather, all crystals. But the wiring did add a little weight, and the battery packs did add some weight. So I could see it being.
So those battery packs also weren't just for LED lights. They weren't just for the lighting like that. What they didn't get to see, somebody at the arena dropped the ball.
Really?
And when we had asked for it, we were very clear and went over it many times. We said, no fog machines, no lasers. So they had fog machines there. We asked for a blackout right at the end of the song so that he could have a moment. And with the whole stadium. The whole stadium comes through, and the lasers go on. There were lasers coming out of the crown that would have touched the ceiling in the stadium.
So you guys didn't see the
and
full
lasers
effect.
Coming out of his arm pieces here. So had you seen like what really was like that moment was incredibly iconic, and that's where the extra weight was from these lasers and battery packs. But like,
But you guys didn't get to see that because they dropped the ball in the end.
The fog machines just went straight in the air.
They went in the air.
They didn't even gather fog.
So it would have been even more of a moment. But the good thing is that the costumes did look amazing. And
all right, guys, I just wanted to play that clip real quick with you guys. Man, where do I start, man? I just don't understand. I really don't understand. This is what Deontay Wilder. This is what he wanted. He wanted to make it about race. He said he wanted to make Tyson Fury a Black History Month question. He wanted to have this elaborate costume inspired by Black History Month, which I don't understand what that costume has to do with Black History Month. When I looked at it the first time, I wasn't thinking about Black History Month. I was thinking about, okay, what is he supposed to look like? If anything, if I was a religious person like that, I would say this is very demonic looking because it had skulls and stuff on it. But I know they mentioned something about Game of Thrones. Like that, what does that have to do with Black History Month? And then I don't have anything against the transsexual, transgender community. I just don't agree with it, or the LGBT community. But these guys who call themselves Cosmo Glam Squad, which they got an Instagram page, what do they know about creating a costume for Black History Month? Do they have like a very keen like history on doing stuff like that? I don't understand it. Someone help me understand the connection of Deontay Wilder choosing these guys to do a costume about Black History Month. When I look at this costume, it doesn't look like anything pertaining to Black History Month. Nothing. I just don't get it. Like, when I looked at this costume, I thought this was a futuristic version of Sho'nuff from The Last Dragon. That's what I thought it was. Because I think Deontay Wilder will make a great Sho'nuff. If they do a remake, which I still think they're working on, if they do a remake from Sho'nuff, if they do a remake of The Last Dragon, he can play Sho'nuff the villain. And that's a costume, right? That's a costume he can utilize for The Last Dragon remake. Other than that, I don't see no connection to Black History Month with this costume. I don't see no connection with Black History. Oh, they got Clarissa Shields. That's pretty dope. So it looks like they do a lot of costumes for athletes and celebrities. But again, I don't see a connection with Black History Month. I was never a fan of the costume to begin with. I never liked the costume. When I looked at the costume and he was talking about Black History Month, I said, what does that have to do with Black History Month? It doesn't look like anything about Black History Month, right? That's my whole thing. And then they talked about, they were blaming the arena about the fogs and the lights, so that's more excuses. You wouldn't have got the full effect about the ring entrance. He's talking about Deontay Wilder's ring entrance is the best ring entrance of all time. No, it's not. You don't need the. I would say Mike Tyson. I'm gonna say two fighters. Off the top of my head, just off the top of my head, Mike Tyson just walking down the ring with just his white towel, no music. That's it. No theatrics. Just Mike Tyson walking down the aisle with his white towel and walking gingerly with that stone cold killer face. Best ring entrance of all time. You don't need theatrics. And I would say number two, as far as theatrics is concerned, I would say Prince Naseem Hamed. He had the most flamboyant ring entrances I've ever seen in boxing. Prince Naseem has the most flamboyant ring entrances in boxing, in my opinion, period. So those two guys, but yeah, I wouldn't say, and all Deontay Wilder did was put on the costume and walk. He had somebody else performing, right, which is D-Smoke. So no, that's nowhere near the best ring entrance of all time. Nowhere near, But yeah, someone help me understand this, man. I just don't understand how with this costume and why he chose these guys as making a costume inspired by Black History Month. Like, what did they utilize? Did they research Black History Month, and did they research things in Africa? Did they research, books? What did they do? Like, what was their inspiration, really? I mean, if they're talking about Game of Thrones and, stuff like that, that has nothing to do with Black History Month. Someone help me understand that. I just don't get it. I'm being nice. I mean, I could say a lot more stuff, but I'm being nice, man. But again, at the end of the day, man, this guy, Deontay Wilder, completely, always, consistently contradicts himself. He made the fight about race. He made the fight about, I want to make Tyson Fury a Black History Month question. Then you choose these guys who are non-black, right? Cosmo Glam Squad to do your costume, right? It makes no sense. It really makes no sense at all. Period. Like, I just don't get it. I really don't get it. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that, family. Leave your comments down below. GMOG Sports TV. You already know what it is. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Always do daily videos. Always try to do consistent content. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram at GMOGmedia TV. Till next time, signing out. Peace.